In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, one God, Amen. This is our third tutorials for learning the letters. Today we're going to be learning 6 more letters. No vowels this time. It will be a bunch of content which we're going to be using to start reading more words. They're pretty simple. Usually we're just going to stick to the common case. And based on it, we're going to start building if there's any exception that comes in the future. How to read a certain letter. We're going to handle letter in the future, but for now, we'll stick to the very basic. Let's start with the first letter that we have today. The first letter is called Zeta. Looks like a Z. This is more like a Z. It's simply, I usually write it like a Z and usually has some kind of a tail. Just to make sure it doesn't look like a 3, which is actually how it looks in some manuscripts. It's a bit hard to read. But I just stick to red and Z, and just if you want to add a tail just for Coptic fanciness. But it's pretty much called Zeta, pronounced as Z, nothing too special. And this is how it's drawn. The next one we have is called Lola, or also it's called Lola. Well, pronounced as like both way, either Lola or Lola. When I was young, I just learned it as Lola. So you just stick to that name, even though Lola makes sense, or if you say Lola, however, Lola's good. I personally prefer Lola. It's just pronounced as an L, no exception, just an L. Very basic. That's how it's done. It's like a delta. It's like an inverted delta. It's like, just if you know what delta is. However, it's like a triangle except it's inverted, and usually that's how I write it. You probably use it for speed of light or for wavelength if you've done some physics. So that's where it comes from the length. Lola pronounced as an L. This is it. Pretty easy, I think, and simple. You just need to practice seeing them. So I wouldn't say it's easy. That means you can, if you hide it right now, you're not gonna probably remember it. But over time, the more you practice, the more you're gonna see it very often, and you're just gonna learn it. And it doesn't have any rule. Just know it. The third letter that we have today is Xi. You can actually write as an Xi. Xi simply sounds as an X. So it's like a K and S. That's it. It's just as simple like an X. It looks a bit like a Z, but it's not a Z. The Zeta, which is like Z, actually looks more like a Z. This one is like an extra, and like two Z's on top of each other. I don't know if you can see an X and a C, and yeah, just an X and S. Just sorry, K and just an X pronunciation. I usually draw it like that. Sorry. Sorry, my handwriting can be bad sometimes. Yeah, that's usually how I write it. Trying to practice it, I would say actually practice it more from the font itself rather than copying what I do. So that's the third letter we have now. It's called Xi, also simple, just called Xi. And it's pronounced as an X, just X. You don't see, it's not XC, it's just X. KS, just a KS. We're going to see more example just to enforce it more. The fourth one we have now is Cima. It's called Cima. It's pronounced as a C. Just short pronunciation is an S, so we don't write a C and you think, oh, is it like a cat or like, what else is a C? Cinema. So it's like an S, just a C, written like a C, and it's called Cima. So, and it's like the S part of the C in the pronunciation. So it's an S, or you can just say it's an S. The fifth one we have is a tav or tau. You've probably heard it more like tau. It's pretty used in a lot of engineering, but also used in engineering like tau. It could be the torque. That's also one of the usage when I simply use tau. It's called tau or tav. Tav is kind of like the modern pronunciation. I use tau and tau interchangeably. We're gonna actually get more into like this. Why some letter would be tav or tau? What would be lavla or lolla? Has an interesting rule. We're gonna get to that sometime in the future. I'm actually gonna start studying the rules of the letter V. So I just pronounce it as a T, just a simple T, and it's written like a T if it's make sure it doesn't look like a J. So pronounce it as a T if it's like lowercase with a bit of a tail, or it's like two T's connected if they're uppercase. Just uppercase means it's just bigger size. And then the simplest one that everyone should know is pi, or 3.14, I guess. However, we pronounce it as pay. So actually calls pronounced pay. They pronounce pi in Greek, but however pronounce like pay. The same way we say may and nay, we say also pay. And it's pronounced as a P, so that's the one that pronounced as a P. If you remember, we had this Coptic letter, which was pronounced like an R. However, we have the pay, that's pronounced as a P. And it's pretty simple to use. Maybe this one can cause you more confusion because it doesn't look like an R, but this one you should know that the pi in what's it called in math is a P. That's it. The very last one is not actually a letter, it's a sign that we have. It's like an accent that we have. So like accent aigu is it's jinkim. This is the jinkim. It's like an accent grave in French that comes on top of the letters of the words. So if you do like this, let's say you have a pi, you put above it this jinkim letter. It adds an A sound before the letter. So if you want to say ip, so if you just want to say P, so you just want to say P, it will be a pi, a P. If you want to say ip, you will add this on top. You add the jinkim on top, you add it on top of anything, it becomes as an A. That's when it comes on a consonant. And just give me another example. So let's say if we put a Cima, that's a S. If you put this one, it becomes S. Okay, so that's with consonants. Now the next one is if you have vowels. If you remember when we did the eta and the omega, and I told you kind of give the letter, like the whole letter gets pronounced as like a full letter. It gives like a stop. That's what the jinkim does for other letters. So let's say you have this word. Just like the first 3 letters, say it's called miv, just for now, just to kind of get to understand the miv letter, but it's called miv. If you put the iota after, it becomes mevi. So we say aripa mevi. However, if you put a jinkim on it, it becomes mev-i. It's called mev-i. So mev-i. So what it does is that it gives a stop before the letter is pronounced. That's what the jinkim does on top of the letters. So let's give another example. So this one you would have I, so it's an alpha and iota. If you add this is ai, it means has come or did come. So that's what it does. It just simply adds a stop before the vowel is pronounced. Let me think of another example. But maybe so when you say ak-i, so an example that's probably very familiar to you is ak-i. So if you say ak, if you put it this way, if you read it's like aki, right? However, if you know from the names like j ak-i, so put a jinkim, it gives it the e sound. So j ak-i, as if, so when you actually write in English, it can be a, k, and then nothing, and then e. So it's like as if they're separate, but it's the same word. Because the reason is like e is a verb that means come, and then ak is like you did, and it's you did come. That's why they're read separately. Okay, so let's move on to some examples. The first one we have here, let's actually starting from the left side. So we have the Cima, it's pronounced as an S. Remember, this one was, they're like 2 O's, so it's big O, so it's O, mega, it becomes as an O. For the sake of writing in English, probably it's going to be like OA, which means a long O, as if the same way you do it in boat. You don't say boat, it's just boat. Because if I say OO, it could be like a boot, but I mean boat. And then the third one would be M, and the last one is A. It's A, so it becomes Soma. Soma means body. When we say Soma, up, so we worship your holy body. And then next one we have Landa, or actually, yeah, it's also pronounced as Landa, more like in Greek actually. So you have Lola, so that's an L. Then you have an A, an alpha, that's an A, and then you have an S. So it's not luck, it's las. Las means tongue, and it's written as los. Next one is also similar. You have an L, a simple O, so it's a small O, so it's O. We have mega and micro, we call Omicron or Omicron. so O, and then the last one is M, so lum. Okay, this one, we actually, it's not 3 letters, there are 4, so we have this one first, so let's say it's like E accent aigu in French, or A. Then you have this one, is an S. Just watch out for this one, it's not ek, me, or it's not luck, and this one, it's las. The ek is a kappa, K is kappa, Cima is se, that's it, you don't have this, it's not pronounced as 2 ways. Then you have M. Then you have this one is a long E, so you see first E, second E, it becomes esmi, so it's a sound, what we say in the Psalm 150 and the communion. So like during the hymns of distribution, esmi and something goes, the sound of the trumpet. Okay, let's get to this one. Actually, let's try this one first. Actually, the jinkim is pretty interesting on the keyboard. It's actually the letter, or like the sign before, on the left of the button one. It's like, it actually looks like a jinkim even in English. Okay, 4 more to go. We have this one is an S, and then an A, and then R. So this one is a Ro, that's pronounced as an R, and then the last one is X. So it's Sarx, not Sarix, because you know in a lot of hymns people say in Sarix in event, there's no X, there's nothing here. It's Sarx. Sarx means body, but this one is in Greek. So this one you have here is Greek, just this letter, this one is Greek, and this one is Coptic. We say Sarxniven, not Sarixniven. I think the addition of A is just an Arabic thing because they cannot pronounce 2 consonants coming with each other without vowels on both sides. Okay, this one is, then we have a pi, that's a P, then a simple A, then tav, so it's a T, just very easy. Again, the row, so it's R, and then at the end we have alpha, so Petra. Petra means rock. Like the same way we say Petros, Petros Peter, and Peter means rock. Petra is actually the original word. Petros, just the masculine name that comes from Petra. Let's actually try this one too. This one here we have a pi, so it's a P, so let's have a P, then a iota, so it's an I or an E, and then you have an R, then you have a long, again, an iota, which makes an eta, becomes a long E, so Piri means the sun. P is the, and Ri is sun. Then the last one is, let's actually start reading it. We have a T, then you have an O, you have another T, and this one is, it's not K, it's S, tots. Tots means chair, so you have tots. Those are the words that we pronounced. Sorry, let's just go a bit up. So words to learn, let's try and read them. Together. This one is Petra, so pet, so have P, et, ra, so Petra means rock. This one is las, so las. This one's a P, and then and then N, and then N, and then Y, then long O, and then T. Peniot. When you say empeniot, etayot, so empeniot. Peniot is our Father. Or when you say Je peniot et our Father who art in heaven. Let's get in here. I have a K, and then A, and then L, and then I. So it's Kelly, means knee. So it could be Kelly or Kelly. This is short. This could be long or short. It could be either or, but this is a short I. But this is a long or short, doesn't matter. And then the last one the second one we have is, we have an S, have a long O, we have an M, have an A, become soma. Soma means body. Sarx is body, but in Greek. Okay, let's get to another distribution hymn word. We have P, and then you have an I, a short I or a short E, and then a long O, and then an I, and then a kappa. So think about it. If you have let's actually start dividing the word. So the first one is have a P. But then this one, you remember when we said the O stands by itself, it becomes not P, it becomes P oik. So this I here, this iota here becomes like an Y, so it becomes P oik. It means the bread. Okay, the next word we have here is gonna see is we have a iota, which we said could pronounce as a Y and an I, or like an E. If you're wondering one is which, simply think as a vowel, so most probably you're not gonna say E-O, it will be like a Y. Actually, in all cases, just put a Y and see what it takes you. So it's gonna be a Y, then you have a long O, so that's yo, and then T, so it'd be yot. Simply means father, which is actually this part here. So yot is father. It's not yot, it's yot. This means father, and then peniot. It's not yot, it's yot. It's as simple as that. Just think of a long O and a big O. Sorry, small O and like small O and a big O. If you're confused what does that mean, just think of any hymn and see how to pronounce. Say peniot, and then any other word could be like what's another word? Lum. So you say lum, or if we use that one here, we say lum or lom. That's the difference. Lum and lom. And it actually makes a difference between if saying O and O, like small O and a big O. Actually, a lot of letters would be different. So we say yot and yot, I think, or even yoti and yoti. Those are different. One means fathers, one means, I think, do. I'm not sure, but they have different meanings. Just watch out for this when you pronounce. Okay, the last one. Let's see, we have a jinkim, so we know we start with an A, and then so it's ip, and then those together comes as a package, becomes an U, so a strong U, so ip U, ip U. Then you have a R, and then O, so ipuro. It is actually ipuro. We're gonna learn that this means the, so it becomes like ipuro, but if you just, for beginner, just say ipuro, that should be fine. Ipuro means the king. We say ipuro nte tihirini moinan nte kirini. So that's it for the lesson. If you scroll down a bit more, you're just gonna see the homework. Definitely highly encourage that you do it. Try to practice and pronounce these words. They're very similar to what we've done. They're pretty much from the same words. Actually, some of them we've used in examples. This could be a tricky one, not a tricky one, just we mentioned the rule of a jinkum over a vowel, just remember it. And the rest should be pretty easy. And thank you, and see you in the next lesson.